Now, we are very fortunate to have two partner guest speakers tonight, so may I introduce the first of them, is the Head of Sports Marketing at HCL, Nikhil Shanker.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. I'm Nikhil Shanker. I lead sports marketing at HCL. And I have this rather difficult task of talking about building a winning team to a room full of business leaders. But I mean, first and foremost, thank you, John, for such a wonderful, wonderful presentation. I certainly took a lot away from that. And I just hope that this presentation can add just a little bit more to that. So, this is me on LinkedIn, and with this profile with all the verbiage which projects in a certain way, and this is the sort of impression that a lot of us give out to the world. But this is who I really am. So if you stay back till 10 p.m., probably this is who you'll notice. But and the reason I'm showing this is because when we turn up for work, a lot of us are a mix of this. We bring our real persons to work, and I witness this every day with my team. That the people who turn up every day, they're the very real persons, and there is no wall between what you are at home and what you are at work. And this is especially true today, where you come in and you're bringing this really all of your passion into work, all that you believe in, and for HCL at least, what it's done for us is it's allowed us to create a chaotic, passionate marketing team that's and we've been able to achieve quite a bit over the last year or so internally, running some exciting marketing campaigns, something that we did just last month where that's Pogba and Lingard doing something in a Twitter campaign of ours, which they reenacted on the football field. So a lot of stuff that we're doing, which we are very proud of, and the exciting part is that what we're doing at Man United is helping our brand grow. So recently we became the fastest growing brand in India, and all of this is a result of a terribly exciting marketing team coming into work every day, bringing a lot of passion. So what are we doing internally that's helping build this team? And I'm basically going to cover just 5 very basic points that help us internalize this. And I'm going to draw on your wisdom and get you to participate and add to these 5 points. And let's see if we can come up with a longer list. And if you find that some of these points don't make sense, feel free to give an alternate viewpoint. So first and foremost is adding a diverse set of skills to a team. And this ensures that your team is greater than the sum of its parts. So I don't know, how many people in the room have seen Moneyball, the film? Right, brilliant. So Moneyball talks about the Oakland A's and this really low budget team in the baseball league in the US, and how they built a phenomenally successful team just by adding a diverse set of skills into something that became a truly high performing, very balanced team. So this is important because it's if you look at the 2012-13 season Man United team, they were also not a team of big superstars, but just through the sheer balance of skills in the team, they were able to achieve a team which was more than the sum of its parts. And it's something that we strive to do every day. We strive to not hire clones of ourselves, but hire for specific roles, specific skill sets that individuals bring in. Enable, empower, and most importantly, get out of the way. So this is something that we internalize at HCL. It's a model we call employees first, but it's something that football and clubs like Man United display all the time. So the players are the true value creators at Man United, and the sort of value is created between the players and the fans. So the club, and especially big clubs like Man United, they do everything in their power to, empower and enable their players to perform. And it's something that we have to realize as managers and firms, that we have to do everything in our power to empower and enable employees to perform to the best of their potential, create value, and then get out of the way. I mean, the last part is most important, that once you've done that, get out of the way, allow them to perform the best. And your role is then to just come back when shit hits the fan. That's it. Fluidity in roles. So if you notice Wayne Rooney, he was a goal poacher turned midfielder, turned winger, turned occasional defender. So he brings a level of fluidity in his own role in the team based on the needs of the team. And again, as leaders, is something that we have to realize, that it's important to not just bucket individuals within the team in certain roles. They can add value in different roles that a team has to offer, that other teams have to offer, and add value in different places. So the more we encourage fluidity in the way an employee on our team or a team member on our team moves across different roles, the more value it adds to different parts of the team. And it's the same for us. So if I'm leading a team and I'm required in a different role, or I'm required to drive a program one day and be a member of a team the next day, that fluidity is important, that I'm creating value for the organization overall every day. Recognizing and rewarding top performers. So I know every firm has an R&R program in some form or the other. But if you take a football colliery, there's a bunch of headlines around obnoxious fees that football players get. In my view, it's not obnoxious. It's just market reality. These players have come out from thousands and thousands and thousands of players to be that one player who is possibly the best striker in the world. And he deserves the $500,000 that he gets every week, because that's the value that is placed on that one player. And similarly, in organizations, we have to realize that if you want a certain skill set within the team, or a certain skill set within your organization, you have to pay top dollar. That's one part. The second part is that when you do get that player in, how do you ensure that, like Ryan Giggs, he sticks around and ensures that he is driving your team, driving value within the team every single day. So you have to ensure that that particular employee is taken care of day in and day out. And last, and which I consider most important, and which a lot of people back away from, is the ability to cull out dead weight. Now, this is very important, especially when you look at football teams. So there are those limited number of 11 or 15 slots within a team, and football clubs are very good at removing players that don't fit the bill for next season. They're asked to leave and find a new role. And unfortunately, in corporate setups, it happens in some places, but most places, dead weight is asked to continue. And it demotivates a lot of high performers. It demotivates the larger team in general, because all employees are averaged out. So this one ability to identify individuals who are doing very well and ensure that they are rewarded year in and year out, and cull out dead weight, is very, very important. And the fifth and last point is embracing chaos. Now, in the fast-changing world that we live in, and John spoke about the pill and the mobile phone, and it's true that it's faster than ever before. There is bound to be chaos, and this chaos is bound to increase. And especially in a field like marketing and sales, this chaos is more than possibly in any other department. As Indian business leaders, we have an advantage that we live and breathe chaos every single day. So it's a unique skill that we bring to the table. And the ability to embrace it and ensure that it enables creativity within the team, like chaos does, is something that that we have to recognize and embrace. So these are 5 points that I think are very important in helping build a winning team. But I just want to open it to the house, and if you have anything to add, if anyone in the room has anything to add on any points that they feel add more value to a winning team. So anyone has any point or any questions? Yes, James. Great question. So we've actually had this recently on our team, and the great part is that when such individuals come in, they inspire a lot of other individuals within the team. So rather than not inhibiting, rather than inhibiting them from showcasing their talent, it makes sense to allow them to showcase it as much as possible. It 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 allows other people in the team to learn, and second, it scales up the rest of the team. So the more we promote, and internally we call this the category A employee or the category A team member. And when you get one A level team member in the team, and you allow him or her to perform to their full potential, it attracts more 8 level team members. And ultimately, the level of your whole team goes up and up every single day. Yes, sir. Yes. And that's a conflict of interest within. Sure. Yeah, absolutely. You want to take that? So at least one of the best ways I've found is to, just like a business problem, you take a problem and you break it down into objective parts, and then you address them in a very objective manner. Leave out emotion, but address that person in a very objective manner. The person at the other end also appreciates that you are handling a problem very objectively. You're leaving emotion out of it, right? And the minute you do that, you find that it's not a tough emotional problem. It's not a fight with a wife that you find difficult to resolve. It's a business problem that you've broken down into little parts and you're trying to solve. And it's mentally it's easier for the other person to also understand and appreciate the fact that a problem is being solved. Yes. So, within a team, you do find that there are people at various levels, and you also find that some individuals who are today at a level which you consider below par can, in the right environment, move up. So the first step is to obviously ensure that um, you know you yourself are providing them the right enabling environment to grow. But if and you do that like 2 or 3 times, you do that. But at the end of the day, if you find that this person is not the best fit within your team, you have to let them go, and it's for their own good. It's for the good of your team, but it's also for their own good because they're not the best fit within your team. Yes, sir.
Ancillary to what you said, or is sort of an add-on, is also recruiting winners. So I think it's obviously you recognize your top performers, but it's also important to recruit a team of winners. So I think a lot of companies, a lot of organizations spend a lot of time in learning and development. But at the end of the day, if you don't spend the same amount of effort in trying to get winners into your team, so Manchester United wants the best players in the world. It's Pogba this year, and if you get a good player going, if you get the best performers right at the start, that just improves the team as a whole. So instead of then wasting a lot of resources on trying to make stagecoach horses win derbies, you're actually starting with someone who has the potential to improve your team right out the off. So that's one thing I think might be an add-on.
All right. Thank you. Are there any questions for John that you? Anything else? Thank you so much. And yes, sir.
So just wanted to ask you one question. You spoke about fluidity in terms of, allowing people to take on responsibilities more than what they can do. The question is, even in a, football game, people have their roles defined, right? If they started actually moving into positions of some of the other players, it becomes a bit of a challenge, right? I mean, you can't really create a confusion around that. So how do you manage, a situation where you have asked people to actually go beyond what they are expected to do, but at the same time, some of the other people who are supposed to do their job, how do you manage that conflict, or how do you manage that confusion, or is there a confusion at all? So, based on your experience.
Thanks. So that's a great question. So, if I'm doing a particular job today, and the idea is that tomorrow there's a requirement X where, and I'm required to do that, or I myself take that up. It's me being fluid to move into a new role, but the important part is to avoid confusion. Is that new role and my new responsibility, whether it's temporary or permanent, is very clearly defined for in terms of communication to all other members. That here's the guy coming in to lead a project just for the next 10 days, or here's the guy coming in to lead the project for the next 6 months, or here's the guy coming in to drive a particular component of the project for an X number of days. If that definition of the role and the responsibility is very clearly defined, you tend to avoid that confusion. You still end up, probably hurting a few people who would be vying for that same role, right? That always happens. But if you very clearly define the role and the responsibility and why a person is being put in a particular position, I think you tend to avoid that confusion to a great extent.
Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for Nikhil Shanker there. Thank you very much. Nikhil, another terrific insight into creating a winning team. Thank you.